Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Neymar, an Indian movie about a couple of knuckleheads and their dog. And it's kind of a comedy slash gangster movie. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 11. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So the premise of the movie is these two friends who don't have any money. They're trying to get with one of them's trying to get with this girl, and they decide if they get a dog, they'll be able to get with the girl because she has a dog. And so they get a dog, and I'm not exactly sure what happens. It's a little hard to understand, but I think the dog becomes their friend. But then later, it's stolen by gangsters, and it either was originally his dog or I think it gets stolen, and then it becomes the gangster's dog. So in order to get the dog back, they have to, I think, gamble. I'm not sure, because there's so much stuff in this from India that I don't understand, but the basics I understand. The basics is, it's a comedy that takes place in India, and that the bad guys are gangsters. And then in the end, they're going to save the dog and get the dog back somehow and win the girl. Maybe not win the girl, but definitely get the dog back. Oh, man. Come on. Come on, YouTube. Stupid YouTube. There we go. So there he is. And story and direction by Sudhai Madison. So it's called Neymar. And I guess in English. I guess that's the English. May 12th. Probably won't be playing here, but I assume you could see it somewhere online. Arrival on May 12th. It's funny how some of the Indian stuff's in English and some of it's not. And I don't know what Salva Pet is. It might be a game, because then they show these various games that I guess are in India, and I think they're gambling related. So I'll play a little bit of it here. See, they're playing all these games. I think they have to play Salva Pet to get the dog back, maybe? I'm not sure. Maybe somebody out there could tell me what Salva Pet is. Let's see. Let's see what the write-up says. Presenting the official trailer for Neymar, starring Matthew Thomas, Naslen, Shami Thilakan, Johnny Anthony, and Vijay Raghavahana in lead roles. Directed by Sudhai Madison, who also wrote it. And then music credit by Shah Raman, which is usually a little more important in Indian films because there'll probably be a musical number. I'm guessing. I'm trying to figure out. I don't know what language it's in, or what part of India this would be in. Again, somebody could educate me, but that might be something to start putting on your info here for those of us outside the country. Not that it's going to make much of a difference for people outside of India, because a lot of this, I think, will just go right over people's heads, like it went over my head. But here's some, I'll say, chicken fighting, male chicken fighting, and that's an indication that gangsters are involved. So I don't know if it's illegal over there like it is here, but it's not nice. But the dog is fun, and apparently I'll take a shot at the 3-act structure. First act, I'm gonna guess these two guys are poor and they're trying to get girls, and they're just a couple of local knuckleheads. They get in trouble once in a while. Maybe they got some schemes going on, but eventually one of them sees this girl with a dog and decides, oh, I could get that girl if I had a dog. So I'm not sure where they acquire the dog, but they get a dog, and he's one of the characters in the film. I think he's the name Neymar. I think he is Neymar. And then, so he's a wacky dog, and he causes them all sorts of trouble, but he's smart too, because, you know, it's a movie, and he's going to do tricks and help the two guys out. And at first it works, and he starts to get the girl. The girl pays attention to him, and Neymar's there, but then the second act happens, and in the second act, Neymar is a lot of trouble. He's uncontrollable a little bit. He barks a lot, and because of that, I'm gonna guess one of his neighbors, who's a little shifty, kidnaps the dog and sells him to the gangster. So they go to find him, and eventually they track down the dog to some gangster who has adopted him as a pet now. And they realize there's no way they're going to get the pet back unless they steal it. And then so they make a plan to steal the dog, but they get caught. And then they get brought in front of the gangster, who says, well, there's no way you're going to leave here with the dog like that. But I'll tell you what, if you gamble for him, if you beat me, I'll let you have the dog back. So then they have to gear up for that, and they have to learn how to play this game, I'll say. And I think they win, but the gangster either cheats openly, so they lose, or he just says, screw it, I'm keeping the dog anyway. In which case, their backup plan is to kidnap the dog anyway, which they do, and then there's a big chase at the end in the third act. So, like, the third act is them kidnapping the dog or running away with it even after they won. But by that time, because the gangster cheated, some of the other gangsters now disrespect him a little bit. Like, you're breaking your word kind of thing. And so he loses some support, and because of that, they take advantage of the gangster, and he tries to hunt down the boys, but in the end, the other gangsters intervene and dethrone the lead gangster because of his behavior. He was on thin ice anyway, and then the two guys end up with the dog. Maybe they get the girl. I'm not sure. That's my best guess. But it looks fine. It looks fun, light for the most part. Although the way they rolled out the trailer, it starts very light and comedic, and then it gets dark kind of towards the end, in my view, because it gets increasingly more criminal. By the end of it, the two guys are holding guns too, and you're just like, whoa, things are getting real. So one of the interesting moments in the trailer, for me, is when they show the two guys in their apartment or whatever. Let's see if I can find it. Well, first off, it starts out with two guys. This shot. So this, to me, I mean, they're not like gay. They're just poor, and they're just sleeping on the same bed, I think. And so in an American film, this would be interpreted differently, right? It'd be it wouldn't necessarily be a gay scene, but, it also depended if they were brothers, but it probably wouldn't be a scene in an American film, I would say. Unless they were brothers, unless it was a very temporary situation. But they look like they're down for the night in this shot. I don't know, maybe not. I mean, he is wearing his shirt, but I don't know. They're poor, so maybe he sleeps in his clothes. He doesn't have pajamas. So I don't know. It's very much, I would say, an Indian movie. Yeah. It's got a lot of the cultural stuff that, even though it's going over my head, it would be to me, it would be interesting to watch, to try to interpret it, right? To try to interpret what's going on. And see, it says it's a daring game. In this daring game, See that means I think that means that it's a game, an actual gambling game. Now here, I don't know. I, every move could be your last, so I'm not sure what the game is. I'm not sure what these guys are doing. This is another thing that's very Indian to me. Like, yeah, you'd never see guys dressed like this. You'd start laughing at them, like, "What are you do? What are you wearing?" But yeah, this would be a common thing, I assume, in Indian culture. Gandhi wore that, right? I forget what it's called. I want to say sarap. Is that what it's called? I forget what it's called. Or a gi. I don't remember. And this is interesting too, because this is definitely, it appears to be gambling. People are holding up money and reaching over each other. So it looks cool. It looks kind of cool. I would see this movie. Again, I'd probably watch it more for the cultural stuff that I'm not totally aware of than the actual plot of the movie. But the plot doesn't seem that bad. It seems like it could be fun. Kumar, don't do anything to them, even if they shoot me. Like that, it's starting to get dark. So it's interesting to see what is dark and what is not in movies of other culture. And then, of course, I think there's probably a musical scene at the end. But see right there. That's okay. That's the two guys, and they're being kidnapped by the gangsters. I assume henchmen of the gangsters. So it's a little darker. At some point, they're holding guns. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure now. So like, you might find the tone a little different. Like, the tone of an American film would be more wacky, especially with a dog. What would be an American film like this? I don't know, like Beethoven. You know, it would be like a fun family film. This is almost like Harold and Kumar with a dog in some respects, right? That's kind of what it feels like, but maybe not as funny, a little more grounded. So it's interesting to see that sort of difference. Yeah, I would check it out if it shows up on Netflix or something. I assume it would go to like Netflix India, but it might go on regular Netflix. Neymar, I believe, what was it, May 12th? Yeah, May 12th, if you can somehow see it. And that's it for me, Tony D, my dog, Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. If you'd like to see me in person, I'll be tomorrow at Free Comic Book Day at the Hamilton Mall in Mays Landing, New Jersey from 10 to 5. There's going to be a big show there, lots of creators, cosplayers, the whole thing. It's an actual mall. It's still operating. So come on out. There's a rock and roll store, there's a comic book store, Level Up Entertainment's putting it on. So come on out. On Sunday, I'll be at LBI Book Swap, and that's in Beach Haven, New Jersey, for a book signing at 2. So it's going to be a big weekend of signings for me. Hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.